You just kind of who you key. Whoa. Yikes. You're all on YouTube.
Yeah. Is the video being recorded or just audio?
Both.
Both?
Yeah.
We have to do both now, or
No,
we are doing
We
both?
just didn't have.
We
time
get
have
to.
one.
Oh,
We get to,
we turn the camera around?
yeah. My wife will critique. What'd you wear that? We got a little different format here to deal with.
You're gonna be able to handle that?
I don't know yet. It is a change. I don't do a change very well. Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order. I would like to welcome Diego up here to help us lead us in the flag salute. You would come up here, sir. You're gonna be in charge. You're gonna tell us what to do. Okay? Okay, so what do we need to do? Say loud. Say loud so everybody can hear you.
Ready, begin.
And we're gonna listen. We'll keep in here.
Picture. 1, 2, 3. All right.
Thank you for coming. Good job. Say welcome. Well, I'd like to welcome everybody here. This is the first time we've had this many people in a long time. Usually we're in trouble when that happens, but we're not tonight. These are good things. Any changes or additions to the agenda?
Yes.
Do we want to, oh, I thought we were gonna do that when we got to it.
I think we do it now.
You can do it now? Okay, we're going to, under the assurance and organizational performance, I'm gonna ask for a motion to table this to the next meeting.
I make a motion to table it till the next meeting.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So the motion carries. That section will be moved to the next, board meeting. Any public comment? No? Okay, the consent agenda. You guys saw the attached consent agenda. We vote on that, right?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Scott?
Scott did. Scott jumped in like that.
I was watching, I was looking down the line.
So tonight I'd like to welcome back the high school ASB officers who will share their report with us tonight. If you would please come up and you can sit or stand right up here in front and let us know all the good information.
All right, first off, I am Santiago Navarro, ASB president.
I'm Delena Macias. I'm the ASB treasurer.
I'm Suryola Almasan. I'm the assistant activities coordinator.
I'm Jaylee Dillon. I'm the social media manager. Okay, so last week we had our Veterans Day assembly on November 6th. It was like around like 9:45-ish, and before that we actually had like a Veterans Day breakfast in a staff lounge at 8:30 just to welcome them in and like just ask them to stay for the assembly and just enjoy their time. And then we also had put up like veterans banners. I don't know if you guys saw them down on the Fish Street, and there were like multiple veterans, and we did that with Mrs. Betty or Mrs. Palmer, and she helped us go through all of that.
Tomorrow at 7, we have our veterans versus student volleyball game, as well as our blackout volleyball tomorrow, November 13th. And then all money from both events will go to the Veterans Pantry.
All of our fall sports just ended, and this Friday is the end of our first trimester. And then the second trimester starts next Monday, the 18th, and winter sports also start on the 18th. And then we just wanted to say, that Brendan Kramer got 25th out of 156 at the state cross country. And then our slow pitch softball team had received, I believe it was the academic state, championship. And then, we have currently just relocated our clothing closet, to Mrs. Swearingen's room. I believe it was like, the staff, like, workplace. And they really were using it, so we just relocated it to be able to have more students be able to shop in that place. And then lastly, we have our Adopt a Family event coming up next month. And Mrs. Swearingen wants to be able to start that next week, so we have a good Adopt a Family for our year. And that's it.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Good job,
Thank you for
guys.
coming. So next, kind of going off what they have, I'd like to welcome the Fall WA Academics Award winners to our meeting tonight. I believe Mr. Parrish is gonna help out with this.
Yeah, thank you for having us. We had a really big turnout again this fall. So I want to thank the board for all the opportunities we provide our student athletes to participate in. This fall, we had 6 teams that earned the WIA Academic Award. And the coaches and some of the kids from most of those teams are here tonight, and I'll let them come up and talk. I'm starting with cheer and Karen Prieto.
Hello there. I apologize for the extra noise you're probably not used to. Like Mr. Parrish said, my name is Karen Prieto and I'm the cheer coach. This will be going into my 5th year. And I have some of the athletes here that will tell you how our fall season went. I'm Krista Contreras. I'm Nalani Prieto. I'm Nalani Ramirez. Okay, so we had our cheer tryouts at the end of May, and we went on with the camp, and then throughout the school year, well, throughout the fall, we've had a good season. I would say that when now we're preparing for it, but so kind of going off of that, we've had, like I said, we were able to go to camp this summer and really build the foundations for our team. We have 10 great athletes currently on the team and we are getting for competition season. This will be our 2nd year going into that, and last year was a big learning curve for all of us. And so we're hoping to take everything we learned last year and then represent Grandview well this year again. So thank you for that opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next we have our cross country teams, boys and girls both earned the distinguished award. Matt Thomas here, I think Brittany is
So they
here with the girls.
Evening, cross country is, we started in June, so it's a long season, and we go straight through, get a little bit of break before school starts there, and I noticed as soon as I wasn't around, they just scattered. It's scattered. Last I've got, you guys have got Brendan Kramer, Levi Anderson, Devin Gallegos, and Mr. Ruiz over here, Alex, and they were all on varsity one time or another. We made a goal to get our guys to run tight together, run a pack instead of spread out so we could score better. And they did that, so went back and forth as to what varsity. We had a different varsity at the beginning than we had at the end, change of hands, so it was really tough. We had some, we made several goals to finish the team healthy. We did that. Most everybody that got hurt outside cross country doing something, which I always try to have them not do, but so we lost a few there, but I think we had a great season. We wanted to win more than we wanted to win anything. It didn't happen this year, and we'll take credit, we'll take that and build on that. We had a very tough league, we found out, with Ellensburg finishing like 3rd at state and Sealy finishing 14th. And we have some fast runners in this league that we just CWAC. And when Spokane come down to glue with us in our district race, they found that out that we were really tough. So we tried to shut them out. We didn't do that, but we've got some really tough runners, and they can tell you about how their season went. But it was a challenge at times, and, we're out on the roads. And we're gonna present a plan to you sooner or later here to, get us a running area of our own with the new property and stuff like that, but that's for another time, because we really need that. We're out on the roads and it's, we have to be really careful about traffic. We try to we gotta worry about dogs, we gotta worry about everything, but we just have to do that to get the mileage in, so. It's tough out there and the guys really were responsible with that, so. They all accomplished so much. We got PRs almost every race, which is a personal record or season records. Every time we set out on something, we set records, a lot more records this year than ever. I'm gonna let Brendan tell you about his race, but his races and his accomplishments. But he's a very mild-mannered young man, and he is so inclusive and helpful with all the kids from this high up to older runners. So he is very much an ambassador for our sport, and he broke the 3 mile record that's been there for a few years. And later in the season broke the 5K, which is 3.1 mile record that's been for over 20 years. So, and plus ran the fastest time in state that we've ever run with for a Grandview runner. So he has cemented himself as the best runner in Grandview's history. So I'll let Brendan tell you about his season a little bit, and then Levi, Devin, and Alex.
Hi, I'm Brendan Kramer. I feel like this season went really well as my season and everyone else's season. As a team, we really haven't been the best runners that we've had in history since probably my dad ran, but this year was probably way better than I could probably ever recall. We had some really good runners. Like Coach was saying, we had a pack. So it was me all the way up there, and then we had our guys up there scoring us some points. So it was really nice to have that this year and not to have just us all scattered and just get random points. But I really feel like districts was a bit of a challenge coming off of an injury and then just going out and running it to see what I could do. And kind of surprised myself and took fourth in the CWAC, and it was a pretty cool. That course is such a nice course, and they definitely have built it up to be a good course for our districts. But having Spokane there wasn't really a challenge except for one guy, but it's nice to always have different competition at races, just to have the other guys and even me to have competition. And then state was probably one of the best races I've ever had. It's really different from any other sport because from 2B to 4A, everyone's there. It's not like track where it's 2A, 3A, 4A, it's everyone. So there's about over 60 to maybe 100 teams there racing to get placement. And I was pretty surprised because they put me at 44th and was saying I wasn't gonna do good, but I was kind of doubting on myself and saying maybe I couldn't run this good or something, but it proved to be wrong, and I ran a pretty fast time. It's pretty crazy what you could do with all the hard work we put on during the summer, and then we just take it on to the season. But I'll let Levi Anderson tell you some stuff.
I don't know what to say, but we had a great summer. We did a summer, and then I thought we all showed up last summer. We were not there, but this time we were there, and we didn't lose anybody. We have a kind of a young team, so we started freshmen last year, and this year we just kicked it up. And our arrivals from 8th grade, they all picked it up too. So I don't know. I thought we went into fall doing really good, and then we just started improving from there.
Not at all.
Well, hello, my name is Devin Gallegos. I can't really say much, but I think it was a good season. There were probably some times we had bad races, but I feel like we improved off of those.
My name's Alexander Ruiz. We had a really good season. I think I surprised myself because last year compared to this year, I did really well, broke 20 in the 3 mile. And then, I'm the oldest in the varsity. I'm a senior and they're freshman and sophomore. Yeah, I think we had a really good season. I'm happy that I got to spend my season and have fun with the team.
All right.
Awesome. Awesome.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Good job, Zach.
Coach Adrian Rouse and girls soccer.
They had a 3.75 GPA, which was really, really.
Oh.
Wow, good job.
It's thank you for having us today. It's a privilege to be here. Gonna ask for more from the coaching staff, 3.74. Just, you know, a lot of these players have classes, you know, college classes and ready to start as well. But I'm very pleased with them, all the team. Reason why I chose some of these players here is my seniors, very young team. Amy Morales, Nanette Grimaldo, and Giselle. I'm very pleased with what they did all season. 12 years, I've been coaching for 12 years. This is probably the best start we ever had. Went 6-7 games undefeated. We had a couple of injuries through the season. A lot of close games, but overall, I'm very pleased with what the group did this season. Just want to say.
My name is Eva Morales. I'm a senior. He's my dad. And, I just wanted to bring that up. I feel like overall, even just like the environment of being in soccer, like just the program itself is just very inclusive, welcoming. I feel like even every year, I just know that we all have a goal and we all have a different goal. And then we all just try to push each other. And I feel like everyone there are like sisters. And I just feel like, yeah, the overall, it was an overall really good season. It's just very young team, a lot of freshmen, sophomores, like once again. And yeah, I just want to bring that out. Thank you.
I feel like the season was a mix of like a good season and a bad season, but I really do see this team, like after we're gone, I feel like I really do see this team going far. And, you know, I learned a lot from the younger, you know, the younger classmates, and, you know, they taught me how to be a captain. So, yeah.
Hi, my name is Lynette Grimaldo, and I just want to say that we just had a really good season overall. We didn't really finish like how we wanted to, but I just love this team, and I had so much fun these past 4 years too. But I feel like this season it was just like we all were together, even though they're younger than us. We all come together as a family. I really enjoyed that.
Thank you. Awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you. Good job.
All right, Coach Katie Reinschmidt and girls softball.
Hello, I'm Katie Reinschmidt. I have been coaching for the past 4 years. This is my first year as head coach. But I've been working with these girls since my first year here. So I'm gonna have them introduce themselves and their age and position they play.
My name's Lindsay Padra. I'm a junior and I play left center.
I'm Aaliyah Hernandez. I'm a senior and I'm a pitcher.
Hi, my name is Brianna Barriga. I'm a sophomore and my position is shortstop.
Hi, my name is Brenna Snyder. I'm a senior and my position is right center.
I'm Marlies Padra. I'm a senior and I'm the third baseman.
So our GPA was a 3.48. And that's awesome. One thing that I incorporated this year was they had to earn their way into the weight room. So if they had a 2.7 or higher in all their classes, they could work out. I got lucky though, because even when they had that 2.7, they're like, I have this project coming up. Can I just work on that and not work out? And I was like, yeah, academics comes before everything else. So yes, putting in the work. And I was very proud of them for making those decisions. We had 15 girls try out. We almost made it to districts. We made it 9 innings with Walla Walla. And those of you who don't know, we typically go to 7 innings, and so that's kind of a big deal. We're tied up and went into extra innings, which is awesome. As it being my first year being a head coach, I couldn't have asked for a better team. They are great girls, great attitudes, and they worked hard. So, thanks.
Student
Awesome.
athlete thing is pretty cool. That's, the GPA thing is really impressive. So with all of you,
Also,
fantastic.
academic state champs.
Yeah.
Awesome, thank you.
We're the only two-way school in the area that has slow pitch softball, and these girls go and compete against the bigger 4A, 3A.
Oh, wow.
It's harder to place in the districts.
Right.
Cool.
Great, thank you.
And volleyball. Danielle Placido.
Hey there, Danielle Palacios, I'm the varsity coach, and this is my second year coaching them. This is Amaya. This is Maya, she's one of our seniors and one of our captains this year. So overall, we had a pretty decent year. So we, I think, finished at 7 and 9 this year. We went to districts, we lost to East Valley in a loser out, we went to 5, volleyball 3 out of 5. Went to 5 for that, but the big thing I stressed with these girls, and I had a couple of seniors this year, is that I just wanted them to go out and always be proud of their performance at the end of the night, whether we won, whether we lost, whatever happened, as long as you said, hey, I gave it my all. That was really my big thing I stressed for them. And because it kind of seemed like before they would like give up all the time, and that drove me bonkers. And so this year, for the most part, majority of their games, they were fighters. And we did do some cool stuff this year. We beat Afredo, who we hadn't beaten in like a decade. So that was cool. Took a set off Sela. That forever will be my game that I'm like, damn, we should have won that match. And they were scrappy. A lot of coaches would come up after and be like, man, it's hard to get the ball down over there on your side of the court. And that's just because they were hustlers and scrappers, and they worked hard, and that's really all I wanted them to do. And we would see results on the court for that. So they had a good year this year. Maya, you say anything?
I feel like personally and for the team, we did a lot better than like what we thought we would have done. Like last year, we didn't win the league game. And I feel like people underestimated us.
Yes,
Like
1000%.
fans and other
Yeah.
schools. So when we showed out, I think it surprised everyone.
Including themselves. sometimes.
Yeah. And I think personally, for me, I had a really good season. But the team, especially, like, we had a really good season. We won games that we didn't think we were gonna win, and it felt good.
Yeah, but yeah, good. So I'm excited, and sad to miss out on some of my seniors leaving, but excited for next year. And yeah, we just had a good core girls. They always just wanted to play. It was always like, one more bucket of balls, let's not go yet. And it's, like, guys, look, there's people coming in the gym, like, we gotta go. And so, yeah, really good year, happy with all that. And as far as like stuff in the summer, we did kids camp. and
Yeah.
Things like that. We always do a kids camp, and we've had good turnout with that and stuff. So that's it. That's it for us.
All right,
Awesome,
thank you.
All right, and girls swim couldn't be here, but they also turned the academic board. Well, that's everybody. All right. That's great. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay. Recognition. Okay, Mr. Dr. Darlene, you get to give us your report now.
Yeah, I made everybody.
No public comment?
Alrighty, so
What's that?
No public comment?
We said that already.
Oh.
We didn't have any.
We missed it.
Yeah,
Okay. Number
I
five.
did say that, right?
number
Number
5,
five.
public.
Number 5, yeah, I asked.
Okay.
Jean told me no. That's all I can go by.
Alrighty, so we've had quite quite an eventful last couple of weeks. As the conference sessions at the middle school, elementary schools don't quite line up with high school because of trimester. So the high school in those days has students come up and tutoring and getting caught up and stuff. And so they offer pizza and kids show up. And I haven't yet received the number of how many students show up, but they had a pretty good turnout during those days, even though it was optional for students to show up and get some work done. We had some good attendance at our coffee. The super starting to get some roadies. But we have someone show up every time and they bring in new people and they want to show up because they just want to hear the conversations that are happening and turn their 2 cents. And some of them don't even have students in our school district anymore. But they still want to show up and have participated. So we had one mom show up and she has a 3-year-old who goes to Prosser 4 days a week, no, Pasco 4 days a week to get ASL services. So he's on a bus almost an hour and a half, or almost 2 hours every day getting ASL services. So Jose and I have been in contact with the ESD 105 to find out if there are other districts in our region who have similar services. And maybe we can do something more localized for these littles that need ASL services. So they don't have to travel all the way to Pasco or Yakima. So we're finding out some more information about that. And we had no idea that this little one was going there because he's not on our radar yet. But now he can be because we're going to be serving him when he gets old enough. And so it's good for us. We had a mom and a daughter show up and first off to thank us about providing they're taking AM transportation to YV Tech, and she had been driving herself because we don't have AM buses for YV Tech, only PM. So Chris and Jean were able to get them on a route out of Sunnyside, so they just make it to Sunnyside and they ride the bus. It saves a lot of transportation and time. And this same little student, she was trying to figure out how to get some credits, and she also wanted us to not have to charge because has to pay $5 every time she loses her name tag. And she said she's up to $50 or $60. And we said, well, this is a good lesson for you to stop losing them. And it's a good lesson for mom. Don't pay for her name tags, make her pay for her own name tags. Mom said, yes, she's working at Little Caesars now, paying for her name tags. And so, but we talked to the counselors. The counselors have a plan to help her get her caught up on her credits and such. And so it was a really good time. We had a couple people show up, asked us what happened with the outages and how could students access content when we had no internet. And Jose explained how we still have books, believe it or not. And we had a lot of people doing some old school teaching, we had a lot more conversations during some of the outages than we had previously. And some of those teachers are still using those same strategies. Having high school kids come to the center and just read aloud some books and stuff. And so
Chalkboards back up.
Yeah, chalkboards back up. Someone's outside and the chalkboards move. Yeah, and then we had a mom show up, talk about her students, some of her special needs students. Special needs for her specific students. So Jose followed up with her afterwards and set up a time to talk with her about some of that. So we're still continuing to have, every time we show up, we talk about something we've never talked about before. And so it's been really good. And then as the ASB shared, they did a great job with their Veterans Day Assembly, Veterans Day breakfast. We had a good turnout for that. And then I wasn't part of this, but Jose was and Brad was. I think Brad was out that day too. Yeah, he was out. So Jose was in charge. We had our tabletop emergency exercise, Jean was there, with Yakima County, YSO, City of Grandview, Grandview PD, Grandview FD, like a whole bunch of different programs. And I heard nothing but amazing things. And one of the biggest compliments we got was from one of our counselors. She said, as a parent, it was from Gretchen. Gretchen said, if I were a parent in the district, I'd be so impressed at what Yakima School District, Grandview School District has in place and these partnerships with Yakima County as far as our safety management stuff. So it was from top to bottom, it was a really good exercise. So kudos to Director Martin for the work that he and his crew are doing around that. And our next step will be taking it from a tabletop scenario to actually doing a real life scenario where we have people wearing roles and we have cops show up and we do the whole emergency scenario. So that'll happen during the summertime. The upcoming events on the 19th, we have another round of the Student Advisory Council. Dan was able to make it for part of that last time, and our students are actively contacting schools and contacting groups to how to figure out their work to spread the word around ending hate speech in the district. As you know, the WASDA Annual Conference General Assembly. And so Jean printed off kind of a schedule for you, but that morning, the doors open at 8:45. The general session is at 9:30 to 11:45, and that's when they're going to announce the Board of the Year awards during that session. So there's a keynote speaker, there's awards, and all that kind of happens that same chunk that morning. So that'll make us need to leave earlier for those of us going up. And then Heather, Chuck, me, and Crystal and Jasmine are presenting that same day at 3:15. If you want to come heckle us at the WASDA conference. And then on December 4th, we wrote a few hundred invitations and mailed them out to every business partner, faith-based organization, community organization to come and have breakfast with us, listen to some mariachi music, learn about our strategic plan, and we're asking them to adopt one of our goals as their own. So we have window Klingons, and they're gonna put in all their windows, say we support goal number 5 in English and in Spanish and whatever goal they choose. And I anticipate it being a really good turnout. We're hearing a lot of buzz in the community about it. Even at our coffee with the soup, that was brought up a couple different times.
144 invites.
Yeah.
We got one.
Yeah, and then we have round 7 and 8 of our student-centered coaching board meeting on the 25th, and then no school for the Thanksgiving week, the 27th, 29th. Awesome. And that's my board report.
So is this on number 10, maybe where we talk about a couple things? 'Cause I don't have anything there, but it's here.
Yeah.
Members of the
Yep.
board update.
Yep.
So at this part, I'd like to talk about going up on the 22nd. I think everybody said they were in favor of going. I'm gonna drive and anybody can ride with me that they want to. Rob's driving up because he's taking a couple students. But Rob wasn't gonna leave till later, but I really think Rob needs to be there for the entire thing, like the rest of us are gonna be, since we wouldn't be there if it wasn't for Rob. So I've kind of talked to him and he's in favor of doing that, and the students he was taking up are willing to leave earlier. But we need to be there by 9:30. So
Six.
we're gonna have to leave about 6-ish.
Yeah.
Rob is taking a vehicle up and but needs to have another adult ride with them because he's taking two
Yeah.
students.
We were gonna go later on the day, so Erin was gonna go with me, so that way we still had two adults, 2 kiddos. But since she won't be able to make, because we're gonna leave earlier, who'd one do you want to ride up with me and the 2 ladies? That's just what we need to find out.
So what I kind of thought we'd do is if you guys want to ride, we could maybe meet just right here at 6 o'clock on the 22nd, and then whoever wants to ride with me and whoever wants to jump in with
Choose your own
Dr. Darling, we can take off from there, but we are, just so you know, I'm gonna stay for the thing and stay for the 3 o'clock and then come home. So if somebody didn't want to stay for the 3 o'clock, I just want you to know that up front.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell me you don't want to stay.
So I guess if you want to ride up, show up here at 6 o'clock on the 22nd, and there'll be 2 vehicles going up that you can ride in, but you'll probably be back about 7 or 7:30-ish time frame, I would assume.
Do we need to go to the registrar's desk and get badges? when
Yeah,
we
they'll
get
have
there?
badges ready for you with your names on them.
Okay.
They'll also have reserved seating up front for us. That's so even though the doors open at 8:45, if we scroll a little bit late, we'll still have a place to sit. It crowds pretty quickly though, as you remember.
Yeah. So the award is later, so if you weren't right in there at 9:30.
Yeah, it'll probably be about 10 or 10:15 from what I can see on the agenda. Yeah. So I'll give you time to get there, go through the booths, get some free swag, and then go in there.
So anyway,
I'll ride up with somebody for sure.
yeah, well,
I'll
I
be
think
there.
let's just show up here and then we can determine who's gonna ride where, and we'll all get in some vehicle and
Yeah.
we'll go from there. So, anyway, that was from the member of the board update part of the deal. Oh, and this is kind of from the board portion still, right? So I did one thing, if you guys ever do get a chance to go up to the deal with the students. One thing that absolutely amazed me was there was some middle schoolers in there and they got very involved, which I was pretty excited about. But some of the kids and this sounds terrible, but some of the kids you would look at that look like they're very quiet they were all very, very vocal, very, a lot of input. They broke up into little groups and some would take care of staff. One was the community, one was students, one was admin. And they were doing plans on how do they get the word out to those specific groups. And they were all very detailed, talking about having things at night and how do we get people to show up and do we offer it with other things to be able to do we do little bracelets that say certain things on them? How do they raise money to do that? There were a lot of neat stuff. I was pretty impressed. So I walked around and sat in each of the groups for a period of time. And it was actually even good because there was a group in there that started asking me questions. So how does the board work? What goes on with the board? All this stuff. So it was really pretty cool. So and if you guys ever get a chance to go see that, it was pretty neat to go see.
And they're leading it themselves. You know, Lisa and I are there kind of helping facilitate a little bit, but we're very hands-off to answer questions as they come up. They're really on the ball.
When's the next one?
On the
Say the 19th.
19th at 7:45, 7:30, 7:45 up in the library, GHS.
So anyway,
Members of, or member report from the board, just wanted to share, I did meet, or join Rob and Brad at the.
oh yeah, I was curious how
seminar.
that went.
And there was actually a lot of good information. It was a lot to take in one session. But basically, they were talking about three initiatives that or three things that are leading to the budget deficits with a lot of school districts, which we know it's the decrease in enrollments, the increase in the operations cost, and then of course, just the formula, the funding formula. So those are things that are definitely on the radar. What was interesting though is to see the three different presenters, because there was somebody from OSPI. There was somebody who was from UW representing the research that they've done, and they were able to share different perspective outside of, you know, the education resource. And then I can't remember the other gentleman.
Dan Steele from Wassa.
Dan Steele from Wassa. And so again, a different viewpoint, right, on the funding sources. But anyhow, long story short, they were very concerned about what was going to be happening with the funding as it was tied to, was it the green? I can't remember the initiative names right now. Anyways.
One of them.
Yeah, one of those. And then that would be impacting to our funding sources. I think both of those ended up getting passed and they were okay. But anyways, a lot of information about the budgets that was very beneficial. I'm not doing it justice, but I think Brad and Rob could probably share with us as we get next year's planning. What's important to us. Some of it we already know is on our radar, but it's about the funding and trying to figure that part out.
And it wasn't for people who were just off the street ones to go to a meeting. It was pretty technical, had a lot of deep information. So you all would probably understand it because Brad has you well prepared and understanding budgets, but for the layman, it was very on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of good information though.
I can forward you the slides that we got if you're interested.
Yeah, they even have research about how the funding formula is not equitable around a lot of our communities who are serving more of the districts in poverty, I guess, and you know, about students of color. And that was something that I never had been exposed to. So even getting that research and seeing how that impacts the students we're serving, and when we talk about equity and resources, you know, can we afford this? There's some of the research that says why we're not able to. So anyway.
Yeah.
That's good. I forgot about that thing.
And we got to be part of the very first meeting in the new Davis Auditorium. That's pretty good.
It was pretty nice.
Nice.
Awesome. So anyway, we're gonna slide on down to, because we tabled this portion of it. We get right to Josie. Early, we've been here for 2 hours. Anyway, we're going to, at this time, we're gonna go